This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The campaign is Two Headed Serpent. It was written by Paul Fricker, Scott Dorward, and Mathew Sanderson. It's available directly from Chaosium and also from RPG. I'm the Keeper of Arcane Lore, and this is episode 27. Our recap will be given by Julian Arba as his hero, Stony Cooper. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Julian?
Thank you, Tom. We were deliberating about what our next steps should be before heading off to the island of Iceland. And we figured we would cover as much ground as possible. So Goose, Lloyd, and I decided to take a trip up to the estate to see what we could find up there, while the others decided to stay back at the office building in New York to see what they could come up with. Goose, Lloyd, and I decided on many different plans, and ultimately we found a truck and made ourselves look like delivery men kind of things. And we made our way up to Connecticut and found the estate. We were expecting a lot of people, armed men, guards, dogs, etc. But that's not what we found. Instead, it was abandoned, empty. Nobody was there. The house itself was in terrible shape. Awful odors inside the house. Dozens of sleeping bags on the floor. Animal cages with dead animals in it. We figured that people were staying there, and they must have been some of the hybrids, and the animals were there as their snacks. But as much as we looked, we could not find a single living soul on the estate. Inside the main house, nothing. We looked around, went to the guest house, opened the door, and we got a good odor of that reptile odor. There was a large pit of snakes, and this large solid gold statue to Yig. Or at least that's what I told Lloyd anyway. He tried to break a thing off and was not successful. But anyway, it was good fun while it lasted. We also took a little bit of a venture down into the woods, and we found an open space. And there were statues in odd positions up like that, as if they were protecting themselves from some kind of attack. The more we looked at them, the more we determined that somehow these lizard men were still alive. And it was frightening to see them just there, unable to move. We're not sure how long they'd been there, how long they could survive that way, but there they were. Up above in front of them in the clearing was a large burnt spot, and we figured it was some kind of Medusa thing, and decided at that point it was time to go. And so we made our trek back to New York at that point. Back in New York, while we were on our little vacation trip to Connecticut, the others were checking out the upper part of Meadham's office. They were investigating all the communication equipment, looking at the office space of Meadham, the pharmacy memorabilia, and didn't really find anything until they started to look at a particular skeleton that was standing or hung in there as well. And the skeleton had a very particular jawline and facial features that looked very much similar to Mr. Meadham himself, which was quite disturbing. So, led us to think, did the daughter find out? And did that cause her to join the other group? We're still not sure, but it's a good possibility at this point. The others also decided, having explored Meadham's office as much as they could, to go down into the basement area, the secret basement area where all the labs are at, and they found a lot of really weird shit down there. More of these Medusa'd snake men in their frozen forms. There was another malformed person hooked up to some kind of probes. Large cages of animals. Other tubular structures that were hard to see, but there was something behind them. Something about the size of a human. Female human, that was. And we're thinking they were human mutated clones of Rose. So all of this, if we weren't suspicious of Meadham and Caduceus before, all of this is really adding up to a very, very strange thing, and so we feel we should proceed cautiously. Thom?
Okay. So I'm going to assume, unless you say something differently, that those of you at the estate are heading back to New York. Is that correct? Yeah. The other three, you guys are still, you've made this discovery in the basement. What do you want to do from there?
I mean, I think what's prudent is that we should leave here and leave no trace that we've been down here.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. We don't need to be alerting anyone that we suspect our employer of not very good stuff right now.
I mean, I think we're acting at this point, with the Meadham skeleton displayed, ironically, in his office. I think we now can understand that this was a hostile takeover.
Well, do you think they displayed it like a trophy? Like, look what I did.
I think there was a cold reptilian pleasure in mounting the skeleton in plain sight. Yes.
Yeah.
And we, of course, are dealing with religious zealots. So we, can't presume that their behavior is entirely rational, which helps explain things like the mosquito experiment in Red Hook. And, I imagine that they're trying to clone Rose. Well, let's get out of here, leave no fingerprints, and talk about this at a bar. I could use something stiff.
Right.
Agreed.
I'd like you all to do spot hiddens as you are leaving.
97.
Huh, 96.
And I rolled the same thing. 83 over my 61, so
I'll be... Yeah.
Right. Unless somebody wants to...
I guess we're in a hurry. I guess we turned the lights out before we slipped into the hallway.
Yeah, we're probably too freaked out by everything that we saw, and we just want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's pretty bad news.
So I'll give you this. As you are going, you do notice that there was one other turn of corridor that went down into it went straight off into the darkness. But you guys are, as you say, you're a little unnerved, so you want to get out of there.
I'm afraid we'll be coming down here again in full force at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, you get back in the elevator, and undetected, you get back up to wherever you want to be in the meeting building. And we'll just make it easy by saying that you get a communique from your cohorts that where do you want to meet? They're on their way back.
Yeah, there's a bar on 8th Avenue that stays open late called Rudy's, where we'll be anonymous and not so close to the building.
Yeah, that's going to take them a while to get back here. Was that a 4-hour drive for them?
Yeah, but for
They're
the
probably-
sake of the game, y'all meet.
We
The
all walk
interval
in at the same
disappears.
time.
All right, so you all end up at Rudy's, and it's probably late afternoon, early evening. The place is not crowded.
Probably the three of us got there first, and we're already a couple drinks in.
Yeah.
Hey, folks.
Hello. How was Connecticut?
Well, we didn't find much. We were expecting guards and dogs and all sorts of crazy stuff, and nope. Place is completely abandoned.
There's some pretty cool looking lawn furniture.
Yeah, we found some statues out by a burnt spot. And these statues, they could see us. They were living people, snake creatures in those statues.
Think we found some of those down in the basement. We didn't really find much in the dome.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. Not the dome part.
Not the
but
dome, but-
Meadham's office. That's a pretty big thing we found.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meadham's that skeleton in Meadham's office. That's Meadham.
Oh, shit.
What?
Yeah.
I've got
Meadham's dead.
I've got a metatarsal from his foot.
Oh my god.
He was consumed by a yig worshipping snake person and replaced, and they had the temerity to mount his own skeleton in his office.
Wow.
Trophy like.
They're also trying to clone his daughter, probably with the intent of taking over the inner night with a substitution.
Down in
and
the
I don't
secret
know
basement.
what was that other little freaky little misformed thing we saw? It looked like they're trying to mishmash or do something to create not human but not human things.
It was odd, yeah. Quite distorted, quite mutated, you would say. Would have been shorter than the average person, but much wider and heavier and more muscular, and very hairy.
Yeah, maybe they got some Yeti DNA, and they're not Yeti tissue, and they're
You
experimenting
don't
with
think
it.
what did the giants look like? The ones that weren't supposed to be around anymore.
Oh, the ones that the snake people
Used for
were
labor.
using. Yeah.
I think those are much larger.
Right, but did it resemble one of those?
Could
in
be a
any
miniature
way?
version. Yeah, I mean, I've only seen them in paintings and the like.
Maybe they were like, wouldn't it be cute if we made little ones?
That seems consistent with other choices they are making.
There's also, I think, it sounds like some of the similar living statues or whatever you all saw down there. There's a couple in the basement, I think.
They're probably trying to figure out how to reverse the effect. If that was the inner night attacking them in Connecticut,
Yeah.
had some kind of weapon that does the same thing that a basilisk or Medusa could do.
Well, then that would make me think that the technology wasn't originally theirs if they don't know how to reverse it.
That's a good
So
point,
where
Miss
did they
Meadows.
get it from? Maybe the same people that made that little glass orb floating thing that you have a hold of at your shop.
So we are under the impression that we are caught in a war between the Inner Night and Yig worshippers, but I feel like we're still ethically compelled to fight the Inner Night as perhaps with the resources of Caduceus while we have them, before we expose the false medium. And it looks like everyone in authority, because they specified that they needed to send human guards to the estate. Oh, you know that, not me. Haha.
Well, okay, let's say we go along with it, and we know that our employer isn't any good. We know the internet isn't any good. But how long before Caduceus starts realizing, well, they don't seem to be finding out much anymore. They were finding out a whole bunch at the beginning, and now they don't know nothing till they start suspecting that we do know.
To be fair, we never got anywhere in time to stop anything anyway.
That's true.
You know, I'm really curious. Like we know what we've been told about the Inner Night and what their motivations and goals are, but we really don't know with any precision what Caduceus's motivations and goals actually are. I mean, we know what we've been told, which is to stop the Inner Night, but given what you've told me about what's in the basement and what we found up in Connecticut, it seems like there's an ulterior plan going on that we're not privy to.
I don't know what their motivation is, but I think part of their goal is to collect as many of these technologies as they can to use for whatever their motivation actually is.
I would have to guess the motivation is the same on both sides, and that's finding this lost continent of Mu. I think that's probably valuable to both sides.
That's a good point. And I think you're right that they are both probably, that is actually the primary goal.
Yeah.
Trip up the other one so that one can get it over the other.
So I guess it's a matter of figuring out which party does the most damage if they find it.
If only we knew someone in the Inner Night, or had a way of speaking to someone.
Well, they all seemed like they didn't want to talk. They just wanted to shoot our heads off.
Well, it might have been that way with you, and I looked to Goose and Dr. Harrow. They might be, I mean, like, some of us have like a certain je ne sais quoi, you could say. And they might be a little bit more forthcoming.
So don't plan G, everybody, right? We make sure at least one person doesn't get plan G'd.
Yeah. A little more bonking, a little less blowing up.
I mean, you are in charge of the bonking. I'm not in the bonking, you know. Plan G comes in when the bonking doesn't work anymore.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot about her. Medium's secretary. I wonder. I don't know if she'd be privy, though. She didn't seem like she was a snake person to me, so I don't know how much she'd actually know.
You get the impression from her that she knows everything about Meadham. I mean, she's his personal secretary, but she might not know what you know.
Maybe just the changes, his attitude, maybe he's changed. Maybe
She's
she's
been with the
noticed it.
company for a long time.
Right.
Dr. Harrell, I've heard you talk many times about the potential of hypnotism. Should we, I don't know, maybe try to find someone who's a little bit closer to Meadham, see if we could get a little bit more information that way, and then maybe try something along with the Inner Night? Do you think your skills would come in handy there?
Well, it's an interesting question. I don't know if my experience hypnotizing Homo sapiens will be equal to the challenge of a lizard person or hybrid. I don't know how different the brains are, but it's worth a try.
You could test run on Dr. Green here.
Yes, well, and also, Goose has suffered a great deal of psychological harm since
More
we went to
advanced.
the Midwest, and he's also, more fully reptilian. So if we're going to be traveling to Europe as we expect, perhaps we'll take that opportunity to see how things go with a willing subject, and perhaps I can release him from some of the trauma that he's experienced recently.
Would we need anything to make this more, to make it simpler, to make it easier? Do we need drugs? Do we need certain tools?
No, my technique is that it uses the old traditional pocket watch gag. A shiny object that moves reliably is great for distracting the conscious mind while one, again, especially, but not exclusively, with a willing subject, taps into the unconscious mind beneath.
This is the first time Green blinks is when you say pocket watch.
It's an heirloom, damn you. Mental note, fasten pocket watch securely to waistcoat. Double length chain, not gold.
So I guess before we head out, we need to. Do we want to try to talk to his secretary or Miss Meadows? You interacted with her briefly.
I mean, she did say she'd have a coffee with me. I don't know how I'd go about asking her if she thinks that her boss has turned into a snake person.
Well, you could also get her drunk.
I
find
don't
most
think
people-
she's that kind of lady, Lloyd. She seems very uppity up.
Well, they may all seem that way. It just takes a little bit of gentle pressure or a little bit more convincing. It shouldn't be all that difficult. Come on, use your wiles. I'm sure you have something, Fern.
My wiles to get a lady, an esteemed lady. She seems like a very nice lady to get her plastered.
Well, if you need help, I could always use mine.
I don't think so.
Jack makes a little bit more room in case Fern decides she wants to punch Lloyd for all of that.
You might begin by asking when he became interested in keeping gerbils and why he seems to go through them so quickly.
Oh, but then she might ask how I know about that. Oh, ooh, I don't know. How could I subtly hint about stuff that we've seen that we haven't, maybe, through the grapevine. Oh, I heard that Dr. or Mr. Meadham's been keeping pets in his office. Oh, I don't know.
She has been with him since the pharmaceutical days. So you could start there and ask about how the transition from the pharmacy
That
as a
I did.
lead-in.
That I did want to know. I think that could be very interesting to see what his mindset was at the time. But for the rest of it, I don't know how far I should push without a little alarm bells going off.
Well,
I think just
She could also just disappear, and then like all of a sudden his voice gets really quiet. He's like, it nothing.
Mm-hmm. Fern's looking at you, very concerned.
you were saying,
Just start-
Stoney?
I was just going to say, don't push the conversation. Just let it flow. Wherever it leads, it leads.
The ace up your sleeve, as it were, is that she's presumably extremely loyal to Mr. Meadham and will be much angrier at the person or thing that ate him than she'll be angry at you for violating the sanctity of his office.
Oh, you think I should divulge that to her?
Ultimately,
Well, let's see. It's been 20 years. I'm thinking 20 years since he switched over to this humanitarian work. And if she didn't notice that something was wrong, that
it's
seems
been a-
awful strange.
it's been about 21 years, which is how old this metatarsal bone from the skeleton is, or how long it's been exposed to the open air. So indeed, there was never a philanthropist version of Meadham. The transition was when he was killed and replaced. So I think if I were her, I would find that extremely upsetting.
Oh, I'm sure.
Not that you should rush into that part,
Oh,
certainly.
no. I would very
Well,
gently slide
what-
into that, but I
How long
don't
did she
know.
work? How long did she work with him before the change?
He's probably worked with him 30 or 40 years.
So if she's worked with him for 30 years, then she only knew Meadham for 10, and she's known this other person for over 20.
She's also
Well,
a human being who's going to be pretty upset to know that the person she works for was killed and eaten and replaced. Even
Well,
if
the
she
thing
likes the
is
current version.
is she
Fern-
so blind, though, that she would not even accept a truth like that? That the person that she thought she's been working for all this time was Meadham, and it's not.
Fern, you can do an intelligence.
All right. What? Oh, it's 20. Okay, 26. I'm good. That's a
Okay.
hard. Yeah.
You've probably by now you've spent a little more time with her. You've probably had lunch a couple times, and she seems like a lovely woman, and she does seem very devoted to her service to Mr. Meadham. But you're thinking that if you start introducing something's different, something's changed about him, if anyone can look into things, she can. She's got a key to everything in the building. So you might plant the seed of doubt and get it to grow, and then she'll be on your side rather than on if she thinks he's been replaced. Because she's got to have noticed.
Right.
She's got to have noticed, and probably out of love and respect, she glossed it over in her head, and now she'll start to think, yeah, there was something weird with it there. That's very likely the way it'll go.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you think she knows anything about the true purpose of Caduceus?
I doubt she has any idea that. I think she'd be very surprised to learn that she worked with a gig cult.
Well, the thing that's surprising to me is the fact that the ones that are closest to him and they're high up in the food chain here, that they're still human.
Well, I don't
Choice
think the
of words
security guy is.
Well, his bodyguard, no. What about
You mean DeLuca?
Gonzalez? Are you talking about DeLuca?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's a different kind of snake.
You can do a psychology roll on Gonsalves if you want to. NEF, yeah.
Yeah. That's a big fat no.
Ooh, an 07, which is... I can spend a point to make it extreme.
You don't need to.
Okay.
Your impression of Gonsalves is that although he might show some sort of devotion towards Yig, as he's kind of made apparent to you, he's doesn't act at all like a serpent person. More like an enamored fanatic.
We've seen him sweat, perhaps.
And not even an absolute fanatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's deluded.
Any of you think he could be useful? Now that I think about it? Could we learn any information or get him to do anything for us? Because we could always make the promise of giving him these gifts that a few of us possess in exchange for helping us.
You mean the gifts of hybridization? They have the technology at their facilities now, yeah. They don't need us.
Maybe he just hasn't been turned yet because he hasn't, I don't know, been given approval or something like that. Or maybe he doesn't have access to it.
I mean, I don't know. Somebody you trust your life with is probably pretty loyal to you. I think he might be one of the last people I try to talk to or convince, I think he might give up anything we say, pretty quickly. He's probably very loyal if he's ready to die for the man. The snake man. The snake. I don't know.
I would start with the secretary, see how that goes, and leave the Luca for now.
Oh, what about also the man that checks out our artifacts to us and our equipment?
Connors?
Oh,
Is it Connors?
The quartermaster?
Yeah. Maybe he's still human.
you could do a psychology roll there.
Hmm.
77.
I actually
Did it
made
pass?
I
Oh, well, you've dealt. Yeah.
I followed Jack precisely and rolled a 7. So that's at
So
least
once
a hard.
again,
Yeah, that's extreme.
With Mr. Connors, he seems just a little too jovial to be
Mm.
a snake person.
Yeah, it seems like they are keeping competent people as they are rather than replacing them. After all, if you're going to permanently be in human disguise or semi-permanently, then you can't be doing whatever else you're doing. So rather than replacing all of the upper echelon, they've selectively taken some positions.
Well, they might not know. I mean, if his own personal secretary doesn't know, I'm assuming that Connors definitely doesn't know. And he might be a good one to butter up to because he's got the keys to the kingdom here. We can take whatever we want if we get him on our side, maybe off the books.
Well, I think the question is, in part, how long we want to play along with Caduceus because they have the resources, the intelligence network, the deep pockets to fly us around.
I mean, we have one enemy now. If we leave Caduceus, we'll have two. I think we want to be undercover as long as we can.
I think that bears the conversation of what our goal, the six of us, what our goal is. Are we...
I just kind of want to make it out of this thing.
The five of us, is our goal to save the world?
I don't know. I feel like our goal is to somehow destroy the capabilities of them being able to go through these portals. Because if they don't have access to those, they can't get anywhere.
It feels to me that whoever, if anyone other than maybe Tyrannish, and I mean, that's still a question mark, gets to move, it's probably a big time problem. So is our goal to keep Caduceus or the Inner Knight, either both, from getting to move?
I think so. Just stopping their nefarious goals, whatever they may be, likely move.
Then I think we stick with Caduceus as long as we can, morally and, secretively, because that's where we're going to get our resources to intervene wherever we need to.
To play the devil's advocate in that regard, our effort to prevent the infection in Borneo from becoming a global catastrophe was clumsy and had its costs. But if the Inner Knight had successfully seeded the world with that disease, it might have meant humanity would be plunged back to the Stone Age at best. So to the extent that Caduceus was aware of that threat and sent us there with materials that were useful in stopping it, they're definitely the devil we know.
Yeah.
They weren't doing this out of the goodness of their hearts.
No, it's a religious war. They absolutely want to destroy the Inner Knight. But I don't think I like the Inner Knight as the fact that they introduced an incredibly dangerous organism like that into a human population, they need to be stopped, and then we can deal with the home team.
Yeah.
But the difference between being in a city with populations of millions with sun bombs not being particularly taken care of and other people just being expendable, I don't exactly feel like we're playing with saints here.
I think we're playing with the lesser bad team for now. That may prove to be not true, but I think with all the information we have at hand, we are on the side of the less bad.
Well, all I know is I don't want to wind up in one of those little vial tubes that they got down in the basement.
I would just trust them to lie to us and to not be truthful, to say everything they have isn't exactly quite what they say.
Yes, if there's one thing I can't stand, it's being lied to. Dr. Green.
It's understandable, Dr. Harrow.
You guys all receive a bloop on your communicators that from Consalves. It says that he would like to call a briefing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. about Iceland.
All right. Well, that's the last of our bathtubs, I think.
Yeah, it seems like we're tabling everything. Because I can't imagine we're getting a late night, meeting with the secretary. So I think we're just tabling everything till if we make it back from Iceland. So I think maybe we start thinking about what we need for that. Like 3 dozen grenades, obviously.
Something we could do, just to sow the seed of doubt, if we know where she lives, we can just leave her a mysterious package, like a mail with
gracious Green.
Something
to scare this poor woman half out of her wits.
No, just it doesn't have to be the full extent. Just something that makes her start to question, to start getting the ground ready. So we'll just scrawl in block letters in green crayon, why all the gerbils on a scrap of newspaper and shove it under her door.
And drop that to Dolores. You can't do that to Dolores. No.
And maybe drop that piece of medium bone in there with it. Yeah.
I think
Just something we could do while we're in Iceland.
We didn't take any photos of his place, did we? I was going to say, maybe we could compile some pictures of his house and the state of it and be like, from a friend, why does Meadham's house look like this? And then maybe then she would be like, ring.
She probably does have questions, but I think this will all wait until we're back stateside. Jack, do you know if there's any, I understand Iceland's extremely cold. Maybe you could prepare some little radium sachets we can carry on our gloves to keep our fingers and toes warm.
Certainly, yeah, probably.
Well, I don't know if we have time to do this before we're having our meeting tomorrow, but I have Dolores's phone number. I could perhaps get together with her if she's available and have dinner with her and try to get her on our side.
I mean, if that's something that if you want to do, I mean, I don't see any harm in that. I don't, as long as we're not doing like a, full.
Well, I think it'd
assault.
be much nicer than sticking an envelope on her desk with Meadham's toe bone in it.
That was not my suggestion, and I look over to Dr. Hero.
No, Jack was highlighting the preposterous nature of your suggestion by amplifying it hyperbolically.
And yet when Fern suggests it, maybe it is plausible.
Hers is a phone call.
Well, if we had pictures, but we don't have any pictures.
I don't think we want to alarm your friend before we're done addressing the inner night. I don't think we want Caduceus to collapse or to have his private secretary murdered, replaced by a reptile.
Well, he's not around a whole heck of a lot. And if I tell her, you got to be real careful because this is dangerous, I'm sure she'd be very subtle about her investigating.
Yeah, but Dr. Harrell raises a good point. We may want to hold that until we're back here to assist if things, if she gets in trouble while we're away, there's,
Well, what if they turn her into a snake lady by the time we get back?
I know that's what, if we don't contact her, then she's going to just go on as normal and that might not happen. Right. But if we sow the seeds of doubt in her head, she may act on it and then we come back and we've lost an ally.
Okay.
The other problem is we're getting sent everywhere in the fucking world. Every other day, it feels like. How are we supposed to be able to get? But how are we supposed to get far enough into what we're trying to learn if we don't start putting it into motion right now? Because I guarantee you, once we're back, we're going to be going somewhere else immediately as soon as we get back. There's going to be something in the middle of fucking Dubai. There's going to be something that's going to be like back in South America. There's going to be something somewhere where, Thom, I see you laughing, and we're not ever going to be able to stop until we're dead.
Well, again, if that disease had been allowed to run rampant, we might already be infected. I mean, we were infected, but everyone might have been infected, and then we wouldn't be able to do very much about Caduceus. I think preventing the nihilists from killing everybody is the first priority. Until we open a channel to the inner night and find out that they've actually got a wonderful plan that involves human flourishing.
I agree with Dr. Harrow.
Yep.
And if we encounter the inner night in Iceland, we might, gain more information about their true goals from their source instead of Caduceus.
Although they do seem to shoot first, historically. I hope to meet Rose.
Maybe they think we're like the nihilist wanting to annihilate the planet. That would make me want to shoot first.
Yep.
I mean, we've been shooting first as well, right? So who are we to point fingers?
Well, they've usually gotten the jump on us, but I accept your point.
Well, I'm going to go back to my shop and check on some things. Anybody need anything? I mean, I got, 10 or so hours to play with. If anybody needs like Vern wanted the little slingshotty thing. If anybody.
No, I'm just looking forward to those toasty little radium balls you set up for us to keep us warm in the frigid wastelands.
Sure, they have onesies for us.
It's full of volcanoes too, Iceland. Maybe we should have some volcano proofing.
Yeah, we're gonna actually probably have to have rain gear, maybe some additional medical equipment. Iceland at this point in time is pretty poor. It's not the Iceland we know today.
What do they sound like?
Well, that's the thing. I'm so glad that we have a doctor of languages. I bet you speak Icelandic, Dr. Green.
Oh, I never got quite to that section of the world, so beg my fucking pardon for trying to reach out and play teen ball with everybody right now.
You did take apart our communication devices, right, Buzz, to see if we're safe, so to say?
Yeah, I probably did that in the past few days.
Yeah, they're safe.
We're secure.
And I think that it's likely that if you're in Iceland, they probably also speak Danish.
I mean, it's also, I have found that the smaller countries tend to speak the more common languages because they have to. No one in Iceland is going to expect anyone else to speak Icelandic. Whereas everyone expects you to speak French or German or English. Spanish.
I think I heard that Icelandic is the hardest language to learn. That and Hungarian.
It's, they've been alone on their island so long it doesn't really change. Jack, maybe some asbestos parasols in case one of the volcanoes goes off.
Okay.
The wonder material, that asbestos.
Yeah, it is. It's revolutionary.
Hey, isn't that the same thing they put inside of cigarette filters and I start reaching for, like, my cigarettes?
All right. So, Jack, you're going to go back to the shop and
mess around, make some stuff to keep her hands and feet warm and
battery-powered socks.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna work on something to help me launch grenades farther. Kind of like I think we talked about before, like a collapsible potato gun type deal. Just,
Okay. Cool. And I'm sorry, Fern, were you going to forego talking to Dolores?
No, I think I was going to talk to her before we head out. That was the plan, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've called her and asked her if she wants to go to dinner. Yeah. She's not married. She's kind of a loner. So yeah, she's quite happy to go out to dinner with somebody. And everybody else, you guys are just getting your gear together. Stoney, you said you were going to get your cold, wet weather gear together for everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get short list and put together supplies and gear and stuff like that.
And this is 1933. Do we remember what year? Is it March?
It was March.
Yeah, so it's still pretty cold. All right. All right, let's do Jack. Jack, is there anything special or is that pretty much the extent you're going to?
I'm going to check in with Frankie because I think she's been working on the sphere, and how we could use that. She's just kind of trying to retro engineer it, I think, backwards.
She says she could really use a blueprint.
I'll see what I'll see. I think I'll have a couple hours tonight and into the morning. I'll see if I can find something and get it courier or some way.
If there's a way we could ultimately get a sample of whatever this liquid is that would fill the spheres, that would be helpful too. She says, I guess you're just going to have to get lucky at some point and run across the technology again.
Yeah. I'll take another quick look in the library at Caduceus, see if there's anything. And then, I don't. Yeah, you may be right. I may need to get lucky
or
and run across.
Develop our own version of whatever it is.
You roll that around in that brain of yours and see if you can come up with something. I'm gonna finish up this launcher that's gonna help me, send grenades farther than this arm can throw them.
Stoney, you get all your gear together. Fern, you meet Dolores at a little diner somewhere in New York. She's already there. She sees you and waves.
Hi, Dolores. Yeah.
Hello, Fern. How are you this evening?
Oh, I'm doing all right, I think. How was work today?
Oh, productive. I know that they were talking a lot about getting you guys ready for Iceland. I think you're having a briefing tomorrow with
Right,
Dr.
we're going to be
Gonsalves.
heading out again, and that was one of the reasons I called you and wanted to get together because I didn't know for how long we were going to be gone. And, I, me and the boys, we've been having some concerns, and I consider us friends, and I don't want to be having you in any danger while we're gone. And I wanted to talk to you about some things, like how you feel about work and Mr. Meadham, and if you've noticed anything odd with him in the past few years since you've been working for him.
Something odd, you say? He's he's a lovely man. I've had the great privilege of working at him for so long. I think perhaps lately he's just been a little more concerned and worried. He's a very serious man. He wasn't always that way.
Right.
But
yeah, I'm sure after Rose was gone, he probably went within himself for a while.
well, that was definitely a point that was quite difficult for him. There wasn't anything that I could do to bring him comfort. I did my job, and that's about the best that I can do. But yes, ever since this difficulty with the other group, it's kind of obsessed him. In fact, it seems like that's very much from the very beginning. Not when he was doing pharmaceuticals. I've always figured that something must have happened to him to traumatize him, to make him switch everything over to this cult and trying to stop it. But I'm not really aware of what that might have been.
Well, that's one of the reasons, like this obsession that you bring up, that I'm concerned for you, because I feel that there's things that you should know that you might not know. And me and my group have been doing a little research on our own. As far as you know, has Mr. Meadham moved houses lately?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean. I know that there was a recent attack on some of his warehouses.
Right.
He was assuming that the Inner Knight had been behind that. I did see a memo from Mr. DeLuca concerning a break-in at his estate in Connecticut. He seemed a little concerned.
Well, I think it's more than that, because a few of my coworkers took a trip out there because they wanted to talk to Mr. Meadham, and they went to the estate, and his house is completely destroyed on the inside. There is nothing left. There were just cages full of dead animals and tons of sleeping bags all over the floor. And
That sounds very strange.
It's very concerning. And out in the lawn where they had some sort of religious temple to, I think, Yig, there were stone statues of snake men, but they said that their eyes were still moving, but their bodies were stone. I think there's something real bad going on here, Dolores, and I'm real concerned for you, and I don't want anything to happen to you while I'm gone. It might be something maybe you could look into, maybe be real subtle about it, though.
Do a persuade.
Okay. I think my persuade's pretty good. Where is it? Yeah, I've got 40. 24 over 40.
He says, well, Mr. DeLuca's report did say something about a desecration. Maybe all of that, what you're describing, was brought in, and it sounds like a gross vandalism of some sort. I can check on some of Connor's manifests and see if he's moved somewhere else. I'm not exactly aware of that.
Well,
I'm sure
from
that
what they
Mr.
described, it was a beautiful property. Why would you leave your property go like that? I mean, he's a man of means. He has his ways of being able to, fix things back up right. And it's just looked like it's been abandoned.
I'm sure there's a good reason for it. I'm sure that I can find an explanation. I wouldn't want to upset Mr. Meadham, but I'll keep my eyes open. I'll put some things together and see what I can find.
All right,
I'm
just
sure
be
that
real
everything is
careful.
fine.
Be super careful, Dolores. I mean it. I got a bad feeling about this, and I don't want you to get hurt.
You can see that that she's running through things in her mind, especially when you're talking about her getting hurt. She doesn't seem to ever have been threatened by anyone in the company, but she confesses to you that she's not particularly fond of Mr. Meadham's bodyguard. He never talks.
No,
Or very, very rarely talks.
I don't think he's quite all human, Miss Dolores.
And she looks at you very queerly. She's like, well, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but I'll definitely look into this more.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, and I just want you to stay safe while we're gone.
I'll be safe. All right. Anything else before the next morning?
I might have a two-piece for a dinner tonight.
You mean squab and other squab?
I'm trying to remember. It was for
Canaries.
It was bread and butter. I think was what I might be having for dinner tonight.
You're a monster. All right. So the next day comes, and you all go into the conference room, and Gonsalves is already in there. He's got a number of maps of Iceland up on the board, and he's got a couple of other odd things. He's got a couple of newspaper articles that are pinned up, and some odd woodcuts or drawings that he's collected of. You probably all know that Icelandic people believe in trolls, so he's got some odd pictures of trolls. Just please come in. So I told you a little bit about this when we first got our reports, but there seems to be something going on around the volcano of Snuffles Jokel, which he shows you on the peninsula where it is. It's on the western side, the north, a little bit north of Reykjavik, I think, on a little peninsula that sticks out into the ocean. The very end of the peninsula is where the volcano is. He says there's been a lot of seismic activity, and we think that the volcano itself might be becoming active again. The reason for this, we're starting to suspect, is based on some of our research. There may have been at one time a serpent person research station there. Kind of odd because serpent people don't like the cold, but this could have been tens of thousands of years ago. And I forget, did any of you mention the map that you saw when you were on the...
I do not think we fessed up about that. I could be wrong.
So yeah, we withheld a lot.
So he doesn't say this is based on what you've told him.
Which map are you talking about? The one that had the dots from originally from Borneo?
Yeah.
Right.
Did we ever mention anything about Borneo? I don't remember that one.
I don't think that you did.
Yeah.
But I was just checking. So he doesn't base anything on your thing. But we do suspect that there is at least the remnants of a science station there. And we have reason to believe that the inner night may be, in fact, trying to infiltrate it and bring it back. We do have a number of spies within the inner night, and they seem to confirm that there's activity going on in that area. So we want to send you out there. Now, once again, our premise is that the local government wants to evacuate the area of the villages around Snuffles Jokel in case the volcano itself erupts. And so that's the premise of you going in. Once again, humanitarian aid, getting the people out.
Is the place known for hot springs or thermal vents? It's possible that it's been a continuing institution if they've got a heat source like that.
I think there's a few of them, but not to any great extent. Though you are right in assuming that the facility itself may have at one point used thermal geological heat as its power source, and now it's being reactivated. The whole area over there is riddled with lava tunnels, and we don't know exactly what the facility was designed to do. Now, the other odd thing, and he points to the trolls, he says, that the local superstitions of the Icelandic people have talked about trolls. We never really thought about putting two and two together, but it's very possible that these could be creatures that were once used as slave labor by the snake people. They're called the Vormis. We have no confirmation on that, but it does seem odd that this facility was there, that these monsters have been seen, and that the snake people use these monsters. So I would be cautious and I would be prepared. I suppose theoretically a remnant of these creatures could have survived on that island up in the ice and the cold. I'd just be cautious. There are a number of places that have said that they were raided by something in the night that stole livestock and food. So who knows? However, from all of the reports from the original documents and things, when we read about the Vormis, They were bred for slave labor. They are not normally violent. They were literally bred to be extremely submissive. So you might be able to, assuming that you've met one, dominate them. Take that for what it's worth. We've got your airplane will actually be flying out this afternoon, and you'll be flying to a settlement that Caduceus has just set up. We'll get you a guide to take you out onto the peninsula. And we'll probably, for all they're concerned is you'll be going there to help them evacuate the locals. I think that's it. Talk to the quartermaster if you need anything.
Those spies that you have with an inner knight, are any of them in Iceland right now?
I believe potential contact. Well, that's a little more difficult. They're under deep cover, so I'm not at privileged. I can't just reveal who they are.
But they might, if we just go in and they might become a casualty. If we're not careful. Yeah, we don't want to kill them.
Well, hopefully they would tell you. They'll recognize that you're not inner knight, obviously. All right. That's all. You can go get ready. Jack, would you stay for a few minutes?
Certainly.
As we're moving out, I'll say, Jack, I think instead of asbestos parasols, we're looking more like asbestos union suits, aren't we?
Yeah. Might not have time for that.
No. See you a bit.
So once you guys are out of the room and Jack, you're there alone with him, he says, Jack, I wanted to bring something up. You have a second objective. Of course, your primary objective, which everybody should have figured out, is if the inner knight is there, stop them from doing whatever they're doing. And but you in particular, I'd like you to, if the facility is still active or is reactivated, learn as much as you can. We have reason to believe that they had, at least in ancient times, a kind of artificial memory device, something that could store information. And it may contain scientific information for their entire civilization. It should appear as large metallic canisters. They'll all be somehow hooked together. It'll be kind of obvious when you see them that it's some sort of a network. If you could retrieve one or two of those canisters, however, I would suggest that you treat them with very delicately. Don't open the canisters. Whatever's inside might be destroyed by exposure.
It holds information, like
somehow, yes, it has encoded information inside of it. We're not quite sure what to refer to this sort of system as, but some sort of information retrieval and delivery system. Maybe you could come up with a name. Something that could, we've seen that their technology was quite advanced.
Okay, I will keep an eye out for these information cylinders.
Excellent. All right, that's it.
Okay. Do you know if the library has any information on these the sphere travel things they use that we found in,
don't think I've run across that before, but that certainly sounds interesting.
Yeah, I figure if I could get a little more information, I could maybe make something of our own for travel around. I don't know.
Well, you certainly have our blessing to try to develop anything like that. You've already proven yourself quite remarkable in that direction. I feel free to look through it, but I'm not sure you're going to get very far in the next couple of hours.
I'll stop in there real quick. I did a lot of prepping overnight, so I'll stop in there just for one last, see if anything jumps out at me.
It certainly is a good reason to retrieve those canisters if you can.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Have a safe flight.
I will run by the library. Can I do I have a terrible library use, but can I do a library use roll to see if anything?
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. That is close enough to spend some luck, but we're also going to Iceland. Nah, okay. I'll some other time. I'm going to save my luck.
The most you get is perhaps some old wall paintings that seem to show these little bubbles of flying around in the sky, but it doesn't really give you much info.
Okay.
All right.
I think
you guys want to do
at some point, I'll meet up with Stoney to show off my new toy. It looks like a thermos. I'm like, all right, Stoney. And I don't even tell you what it is. I just twist it and this thing extends. And then I take from my belt this little canister and pop it on there and I turn a dial and there's a big puff of air, like a big burst of air. I was like, this is going to give me about 40 to 50 more feet range on grenades. And then I collapse it back down, take it apart. It's kind of just like a compressed air. It has 4 shots, and I just wasted one showing it off. But 4 grenades can get launched a longer distance.
Cool.
So, just one last thing. Is there anything you want to do before you're on the airplane and landing?
See if we can take the whip with us.
A whip.
I have my gravity egg. I wrote that down on a Post-it so I remember.
Are you bringing tell me what you're bringing. Are you bringing the staff again? Are you?
Well, Lloyd is the master of the staff. I'll leave that to him if he wants to. But I think as a group, we want to bring the whip.
I think we want to have both magical control devices with us. If there are no snakes down in some cave, I'll be surprised. And I'm going to, sort of equip the medical bag, including cleaning and oiling the guns. And I don't know what the best anti-frostbite technology I would have was other than a flask of brandy, but everything in ship shape for the trip.
You had said something earlier about Jack making some sort of radium warming devices.
Yeah, little heating pills.
Yeah,
maybe those little heating pads that you
little hot hand things. Yeah.
All right, and so you got all your winter gear, and all of that.
I want to go find a really thin onesie that I can just wear underneath everything that looks pretty much like those old
union suits.
Yes, pretty much. That would fit underneath your clothes and you wouldn't even notice.
Sure. Yeah.
Just to stay warm.
Thermal underwear. Yeah.
We call those long johns.
Yeah,
that's what it was.
Union suits are the ones with the buttons on the drawers.
I kept thinking Long Johns, but then I thought Long John Silvers, and I was like, that's not right.
I think as Dr. Harrow's preparing his bag, Jack sneaks a peek to make sure there's, cocaine in there. He's in the early stages of a slight addiction.
Say one way to stay up and warm.
I mean, we've been to the Amazon already, so there's coca aplenty.
So Here's where the naming convention of things gets really ridiculous, but you're going to fly from New York City to Dublin, and then from Dublin you're flying to Iceland. You are going to land on a sort of makeshift landing strip in a place called Stykkishólmur, which Stykkisholmur, Stykkishólmur.
If only we had someone who understood the language in our group, maybe a little bit better.
It's on the northeastern coast of the Snaefellsnes Peninsula. And when you land, it's maybe only got 4 large tents. You're carrying your gear. There's nobody helping you to bring your gear in. There is a small handful of people that are working there. There's dozens. There's 1 dozen. There are about 24 beds, none of which are being used at the moment. They're assuming that more help will be arriving to help the population. Stykkishólmur is about 40 miles from Snaefellsnes. Now, there is something almost mystical about Snaefellsnes. The ground where you are is fairly flat. It's a little hilly, but it's mostly flat. And then Snaefellsnes just rises up in a perfect cone off in the distance. It dominates the landscape. And you don't see any smoke or anything coming off of it. So despite the fact that they think it might be reawakening, there's no indication of an eruption of any kind.
It's snow covered?
Yes.
And not steaming.
And it's
so still pretty dormant, but they probably felt rumbles.
It doesn't give the exact height, but I don't know. Somebody can look that up if they want to. You land at the camp, and you're not really going to make yourself at home, but this will be kind of your home base, and you'll be going out. You then meet your guide. It is a large blonde woman with braids, quite hardy looking woman. And she comes up and introduces herself. Hello, my name is Gunhildur Jensdottir. She says, I will be your guide. And whatever accent I'm doing, just pretend that it's Icelandic.
Think Bjork.
She says, once you're ready, we'll get in the vehicle. We've got an old Model A, and we will drive out. The roads have been damaged somewhat because of the earthquakes.
Well, yeah, we were told that they thought the volcano was getting ready to pop off again, but the mountain doesn't look like it's steamy or melting the snow or anything.
No, they're quite concerned. The seismic activity is getting stronger. We will be heading towards the town of Olafsvik. We're going to go to Olafsvik. My brother lives there. We're going to work on evacuating the people, making sure they know. It's very remote. There's no telephone lines or anything like that. So some of them may not know.
How big is the city or town? How many people?
It's very small. Maybe 100 people. There's not a lot of people living out here. But the government is very concerned with everybody's safety.
What's the camp or town we're in right now?
It's
Sticky Shoulder.
Sticky Shoulder.
We just call it Sticky.
Okay.
We're living in Sticky right now.
I'm gonna do just a once over look at the vehicle, the what Model A, just because that's what I do in my real life. So just check it over, make sure everything looks good.
Yeah, now that I think about it, there's a lot of you, so maybe there's two of them.
Okay,
we'll go in two cars.
I'll just do a cursory look over them.
Yeah, they seem to be in fairly decent. A lot of salt damage on the bottoms of them from them trying to keep the roads salted.
I want to grab some binoculars and just look over the mountain.
Okay.
Are there any cave entrances, anything like that?
Not that you can see. It's 40 miles away, so yeah, you can't really see. But there's something very spectacular. This land is icy and rocky in places, but so smooth, and it's almost like a god standing there. This thing rising up out of the ground.
Are they
You're also reminded that it's the entrance to the center of the earth in Jules Verne's story.
Are they pine-covered mountains?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
No. Mostly ice and rock. Of course, it's still winter, so it might get a little greener in the summer. Gunhilder says, it's so good that you've come to help us. There are so few of us out here. It's difficult.
What do the locals out here do? Is it fishing communities or?
Mostly fishing, yes.
Will it be difficult to relocate them?
Well, we're hoping at least to bring them back here and worry about relocating them later. Once the scientists say that the volcano has quieted down. Our people are very hospitable. We take care of our own people, so even
Have there been any injuries or building damage from the earthquakes?
Not so far, but a lot of road damage, especially as we move towards the volcano.
Do you do translation professionally, or are you from the city? From Reykjavik?
I'm from the city, yes. But originally, I'm also from Ólafsvík.
Ólafsvík.
Yeah.
And your brother, Mr. Jensen?
He still lives there with his family, yes. He has a wife and 3 daughters.
Well, we're happy to be of service in any way we can.
Well, we are grateful. Shall we get going then? All right.
Who wants to be 2 vehicles, right?
Yeah, they're Model A trucks.
Okay. I'll be in the front. Who wants to be with?
I'll ride with you.
We should have firepower in both vehicles, so I'll take the second. In case those flying faceless things show up again, just to mess with us.
We're all outfitted with guns at this point before we even got here.
Yeah, I carry a gun always, never use it.
Say I lost my flame gun.
Gustav, are you in the first Second.
I'll go on the first.
Okay. So then we'll assume that Green and Cooper are in the second one. All right. And let's assume that Jude, Green, or Cooper, who wants to drive that second truck?
I can drive. Sure.
Okay. So Cooper's driving. All right.
You know, as a professional driver for a little while, I can show you how to make this work.
Oh, yeah? Cool. And I pop the clutch and real quick.
He just slammed his head, I imagine, on the dashboard. What don't...
So your convoy drives out. And at first, it's not so bad. But after a while, you're definitely running across cracks in the road and things like that. Some of them, the lead car slows down. Gunhilder slows down, but she still hits it, and the car lurches, up. And this goes on and on and on. And it's about 2 hours into it, and you're really uncomfortable. And I don't think they've invented shock absorbers yet. And it's just excruciatingly awful. I'd like you all to do spot hiddens as you're driving.
I have rolled an 02.
Yes. Another success.
I got a hard success.
I'm not looking.
Just a regular.
All right. So was anybody not seeing?
Yeah.
I failed it.
Okay. So those of you who are
Just rubbing my head.
observant, it's been 2 hours of the same landscape over and over. Now the mountain's getting closer and closer and closer as you're going towards it. But one of you suddenly notices, rather abruptly, from a little to the right and maybe a few 100 feet away, a huge boulder, not rolling down the hill, but flying through the air, comes in your direction, and it smashes down right next to Coop, your car, and explodes when it hits, as a rock would. You can do driving roll, Coop, and I will do one for.
I'm yelling, Jesus Christ, Tony!
Yeah, Brunhilde manages to keep it on the road, but how did you do, Coop?
I am going to spend the 7 luck to make that a pass.
Okay. Your car is pelted by some of the rock, and you manage to keep it on the road and not fall off. But something just chucked a giant rock at you. And then you hear a noise in the distance that sounds like a horrible, horrible howl. Not like any animal you've ever heard before.
Boy, lean out the window and tell me what that is.
God, fucking A. And I'm like, he's just stumbling.
Brunhilde's going to pull the car over to the side, the truck over to the side, and park.
I'll hop out. Yeah.
What on earth was that?
I think that was a boulder, but we're not near where a boulder would fall down, right? Like a fallen rock zone.
I can't believe you almost crashed the damn car. I told you I should have drove.
Hey, I didn't.
Yeah. Did anyone see why that rock exploded?
I wrote a 02, so I think I probably saw it flying through the air.
Yeah, you saw it flying through the air.
That thing was falling at us, or I don't know.
Fallen, it was launched.
Or thrown at us. Or yeah, launched or
Something crests the hill right in front of you. And you don't know exactly what to call it, but Brunhilde yells out, "A troll?"
Yeah,
But
I'm
there's no
digging
such thing as trolls.
through the luggage.
And this thing is quite large, maybe 10 feet tall. It's oddly squat shaped, very thick, the body parts on it. It seems to be covered in hair, but it also seems to have somewhat the texture of rock. It has a horrible, hideous face, and it howls with ugly, yellow-stained teeth. You can all do sanity rolls when you see it.
I have an idea of what I want to do if I don't go insane here. Oh my gosh, I wrote an 01. I'm fine. Which means what I want to do is going to go awful.
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
Rolled an
I'm
18. I'm good.
I
am
failed
good.
mine.
We
Roll
already
1d4.
saw a baby one, so I'm not phased.
It's a D4.
And I only see it over my shoulder because I'm already trying to figure out whether I've got the luggage that has the whip in it in the back of the truck. I'm just like yanking open our trunks because I want that whip.
Are we in like a combat, or are we still like in like
You're about to go into it because the thing seems mad, and it's lurching. It's coming forward.
Well, because I remember I have this thing. Kent remembers he has this thing, which means Jack just remembers. I want to try out my gravity egg on this thing.
Well, I never heard so much bullshit in my life. Gonzalez says they're not violent.
It just threw a rock at us, a boulder.
Oh,
Try
Its
the whip.
its behavior is bizarre. As it moves forward, you see it pick up a couple of rocks and chuck them at your direction, and then you see it actually reach up and grab a chunk of the rock that's part of its skin, and it rips it off and throws that at you. And it's bellowing and it's angry and it's really emaciated.
It's throwing stuff. I hold out this gravity egg and try to remember. Jack tries to remember what he did to use it, which I think I have to do a hard intelligence roll.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some luck.
Yeah, I knew it would go the other way. 74. That's not even a regular success. So
it makes your eye twitch, but you can't quite get what to do.
Shove it back in my pocket.
We're gonna go in Dex order. I forget. Let's see what its Dex is. Let's see. Huh. Its Dex is only 40.
Oh.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to move very quickly either. It's lumbering, but it looks more angry and frightened and maybe hungry. Gustav, what's your Dex?
55.
And Fern? I should have this written down, but I don't.
45.
If you need it, it's in the chat. We all put it there.
Oh, okay.
If I can I'll volunteer to go last as I'm dealing with this failed mind thing.
Okay. So it looks like Stony, you've got the drop on it.
All right. Plan G is what I'm going to initiate to bonk this thing quite well. That is my plan.
You're gonna bonk it?
Yes, with a grenade.
Oh, okay. You're gonna go up and punch it. All right. Go ahead and do a throw roll.
Okay. No, I'm a little wide with that one.
Okay. The grenade flies past it, or rather, the grenade hits it and clinks off of it like it hit something made out of rock and rolls on the ground for a minute and then goes off. Boom, like that. And when it does, the creature uh, jumps away from where it exploded and then turns towards the explosion and yells at it very angrily. And it's very confused. It's swinging its arms and seems to be completely mindlessly crazy. Jude, Dr. Jude.
Yeah, so I'm again scrambling through the trunks on the back of the truck because I assume that the whip is going to calm this thing. So I assume there's a 50-50 chance that the trunk that has the whip in it is on this truck and not the other one.
Go ahead and do a luck roll.
Rather better than 50-50. It's on this one.
Okay. You pull the whip out, and it takes you a second to get it out and get it going.
Grip it with two hands and look toward the creature.
Did you touch it before?
I think I've touched the flail, but not the whip. I think
Okay.
in the pyramid. Yeah.
Do a power roll.
Am I doing very well? Oh yeah, extreme.
Okay. You can feel a sort of melding between you and the whip, like you're in harmony with one another, and you can tell how to use it. It definitely inflicts pain.
All right, I'm gonna sort of give it a thwack and toward the creature and think the command down.
Okay. Go ahead and do I think you need to do a magic roll.
All right.
Is that that's a power roll. You can
Yeah.
expend magic points.
Right. Regular hard success, actually, 37. Yeah, so what's the cost?
We'll just say 1 point of magic.
Okay.
Your whip cracks at it, and the creature becomes just extremely angry and punches the ground and punches the air and tries to. It seems terrified and at the same time extremely angry. It's just going to try to pick up another big rock and throw it in your direction. Lloyd, what are you doing? I know you're halfway running back all the way to.
Oh, I mean, we are all clumped together, aren't we?
Not necessarily,
Okay.
yeah, so more or less, yeah.
Okay, so this is very stupid. So he is going to run, but he has his gun pulled out, but he is running for like cover, something that might be like 50 or 60 feet away from everybody, just so that we're not all going to be squished by the same rock when it gets thrown.
All right, so you're going for cover. Goose.
So I have a bag with me with all my favorite meals and everything. The steak might be a little more red than before, but I'll take out a juicy red steak and try and... How far away is this creature?
We'll say at this point it's, 30 feet away.
I'll lob this steak at the creature.
As you lob the stake at the creature, it sees it just as if you were throwing something at it. It seems crazed. Like it at this point, it's just in a berserk sort of mode. So it's still coming. And then wait a second. It had 40, right? That's right. So still, Jack, you can go, and then Fern, you both get to go before it gets there.
Byron, you go ahead as I'm shaking off the failed gravity egg trick.
Well, our vehicle is still operational. Is the second vehicle operational, or that was...
Yeah, no, they're both operational. A little damaged.
I'm gonna yell at him. Just step on it. Let's go. What are we gonna do with this thing? It's made of rock.
I think that you've gotten out of the car. At least some of you have.
Oh. Well, I don't have anything a rock eater wants. I don't know. You said the stake didn't work. Maybe it was too small. Are we hauling supplies on the truck, or was it just for picking up people?
Oh, yeah, it's mostly just for picking up people.
Well, I'll try shooting at it, I guess. With my rifle.
Okay.
Yep. Yep, that's a hit. So
Okay.
2d6. And 7 points.
7 points. Its stony skin is an 18-point armor, so it absorbs that without doing much damage at all.
But I thought
you see a little chink of the rock break off as you do that, but the creature's coming. Buzz.
So I shake off the weird feeling in my head. And but my go-to would be to throw a grenade, but I think maybe I've seen Dr. Harrow with the whip. So I'm gonna pull out the gravity egg one more time and give it another shot to try to either throw this thing in the air or pin it to the ground.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I rolled even worse. I just got another headache.
Okay. As you're doing that, the creature is running forward. It does not look like it's going to stop. It looks like it's going to do what it can. Oh, Brynhilde can try something. Let's see. I think she's too shocked. She's jumped back, but she's probably reaching for her rifle or something like that. All right, the creature's going to run forward, and there are 6 of you. Oof, Gustav. It is going to swing its fist at you. You're pretty sure that this creature's strength is huge.
Yeah, I'm gonna dodge. That was my plan anyway. 46, so that's... I'll spend 19 points of luck to make it a regular success.
Okay. Where did it go? Okay. He also got a regular success. Swinging his fist. So as I recall, that means that he wins, correct?
I think with dodging, I win with the same level of success.
Do you?
With fighting back, I need a higher one, I think. But you're GM, so it's up to you.
This stony fist just grazes you as it goes past, and you know that would have been getting hit by a freight train. So you dive out of the way, and as you roll on the ground, the fist comes down and hits the ground right next to you. That's his thing. You notice that in that moment that it almost seems like parts of him are rock and parts of him are flesh. There's definitely hair growing there, but part of his face is definitely stone or rock, and he reacts to it. He's in pain. He's in some sort of agony, and like an animal that's trapped and completely out of his mind or frightened by maybe the noise of your cars or something, and a grenade going off. But let's go back to the top of the round. Stony.
Okay. So running the grenade didn't work for me, so I'm actually going to try and run interference for the group and see if I can like run circles around this thing to trip it. And
you'd think that tripping it would be pretty difficult. Its legs it's pretty blocky, but you'll definitely confuse it.
okay, that's good enough.
Okay. So you're running around to confuse it, which it is. It doesn't quite know where to turn. It hasn't chosen another target. Jude, Dr. Jude, Dr. Harrow.
So I feel like I'm in communion with this whip, but the command of the creature didn't seem very effective because it's in a lot of distress. So I'd like to. Does the whip feel like it isn't reaching the thing at all? Do I not feel any connection from myself through the whip to this creature?
You're thinking that maybe you have to literally go up and hit the creature with the whip.
Well,
and you're
then
not quite in range.
Stoney's doing a good job in keeping it distracted. So yeah, I'm gonna head that way.
You wait until it turns away from you because it's looking at Stoney. Yeah. All right. Go ahead and I don't know.
Power roll?
But brawl.
Oh, brawl?
Yeah, you're going to try to hit it.
That's true. All right, that's going to be a little expensive, but that's all right. Probably because I'm approaching it cautiously. 56, 25. I should work on my brawl. So that's 31 points of luck to flinch up and then whack it on the lower back.
You whack it, and there is a crackle of energy as the tails of the whip hit the creature. The creature falls prone on the ground and screams in pain. But for the moment, it's off its feet and howling. But it's sort of trying to scramble to get back up again. It's having difficulty. Lloyd, you are behind a rock right nearby with your guns out. What are you going to do?
I see it on the ground. I'm going to try to shoot it.
Okay. We'll give you a bonus dice because it's not able to get out of the way or anything like that.
Okay. Oh, God. So, remind me, if I roll an extreme, or if I use luck to get an extreme that's piercing for shooting, I hardly ever shoot when it comes to...
That's... What did you got an extreme? Yeah.
I got an 8, and a 6 is an extreme. I will spend 2 points of luck to make it an extreme.
Oh, you can't spend luck and get the piercing. You can't get the bonus,
can't?
But no.
Okay, well, then I just got a hard success.
All right. Go ahead and roll for damage.
7.
That's 7. All right. You knock another large chunk of its stony skin off, but it doesn't seem to react or bleed or anything when you do it. But you are damaging its armor, if you will. I think it's now got 4 points left of its armor.
I'm afraid we can't save this thing.
Goose, your turn.
I'll just shoot at it with my revolver. I mean, I've tried being nice. Not that this creature has any, this poor thing, but I rolled, let's see, where's my... I'll spend 7 luck to make it a regular.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for damage.
1d10 for this one is 2 damage. Wow.
Yeah. I need to roll for something. At this point, the creature throws itself up because it's sort of recovered from Dr. Harrow. Your bullet chinks off of it, maybe near its eye, and now it turns and tries to scramble away. And it's going to make a try to get away. It's not very fast. Buzz, that'll give you an opportunity if you want to. It's no longer trying to attack.
Okay. What I've been trying isn't working, so let's go back to the tried and true. Is it still within throwing range of a grenade? All right.
Sure.
Buzz reaches back, pulls a grenade off his, special belt that holds the grenades. Oh my gosh. That's a 94. It's not quite a fumble, so everybody doesn't have to run.
Man, that's
all right. Your grenade bounces off the creature, hits the ground and explodes, and scares the creature. It stumbles to the side, but now it's trying even more desperately to get away. Fern.
All right, because I've seen all the heavy-duty stuff be used. I'm going to hop in the truck and try to run it over. My driving is terrible, though.
Okay.
Oh my God, I got it. 12 over 20. Yes.
Okay. You head towards the creature as it's running. I'd like you to do a spot hidden.
Oh. No. Pass.
Okay. You can see as you sort of come around the hill, trying to head it off, that there is what looks like a large cave up ahead that it's running towards. But you cut it off. You hit it with your truck. You're going to total the truck, but you do knock the creature over, and you do enough damage to it that it starts twitching on the ground ahead of you. It's moaning, it's breathing, it's very laborious breathing, but it seems like it's dying at this point. What do you guys want to do?
I think it might be dying, guys.
Someone
what?
put it out of its misery. Vern, you got a big rifle.
Yeah, I can shoot it. Do I see a non-rocky part?
Yeah, but you realize when you're doing it, you definitely have to make your choice. You have to pick a spot that looks more fleshy. It's got kind of dark, coffee brown skin that's lumpy and has large clumps of hair growing out of it. But you think you can, pop a cap in its head.
Yeah.
But it is between rocky parts. Yeah.
Okay. Well, nope. Did not get that.
I think you're pretty much at point blank, so you can do
a bonus.
You can do a bonus.
All right. Yep, 7. So I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, so there's an explosion. The creature doesn't have the same color blood as we do, but it's sort of red, maybe a little more pinkish colored than ours. It splatters. The creature stops moving with a bit of a shake, and it's dead. And Gunhilder is like, holy shit, They do exist. I wouldn't have believed it. Never would I have believed it. I always thought that these trolls was nonsense.
Well, there must be more of them around because you said or someone told us that the cattle and stuff was being eaten. This thing act like it was plumb crazy for food.
Oh my goodness. We have to get to that other place we were going.
Olafsvik.
Olafsvik. And see, because there's always been rumors of these things, but my God, it's real. And
it was heading toward that cave, right? It was heading toward that cave. You think there's more of them in there?
I would think that the monsters would come out all in force, but
Yeah, if there are more, I don't think we want to meet them. I'm afraid that one was already damaged. Miss Jen's daughter, are they supposed to be partly made of stone like that? Or is that part of the myth?
The old legends are when they get exposed to the sunlight, they turn to stone.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
And it is the middle of the day right now, right?
Yeah. But this looks like it's always been this, made out of stone.
And what are they known to eat? Because that one looked desperate. And
well, these have been, the legends of my people, but they're silly legends. Still, the people that are superstitious about it they'll take fish out and leave them on the rocks. They'll take sometimes livestock and tie them up to a rock for the trolls to eat to keep them from the village. Of course, it always works. They never come into the village because they don't exist, but here it is. My God.
it might be, we should probably not tell anyone about that right away, if you get my meaning. Some things are best left as folk tales.
They say, too, that they sometimes have treasure. Maybe we should check.
Maybe
there might be something there that we do need to check out. And I mean, Buzz, we might need to seal the cave off just to make sure no one else gets hurt. But we got to make sure there's no one in there. There might be survivors in there.
Survivors of what, Mr. Dr. Green?
In case someone, if they're taking livestock, they could take easily, people or children. That thing's fucking huge.
You want to go in there and take a look. I'm going to start loading the, most important stuff from our incapacitated vehicle to the working vehicle. So yeah, go ahead and go take a look in that cave.
I mean, if you want to go with me, you seem to be more the demolitions expert, so that we can make sure that this does not happen again.
I'm a little preoccupied moving stuff from one vehicle to the other. You got this, Dr. Green. Go look.
I look over and I'm like, Stoney, you want to go with me? Goose?
I feel that this is a wonderful opportunity for you as a linguist to see if you can communicate with these creatures. So head on in that cave there and see how well you can get along with them.
So you're literally just going to let me and this poor woman go into this cave all by ourselves as I get really close to her?
I say to Grunhilde, I say, I need you over here, actually, with me and Buzz. And so I direct her our way.
I think a recon mission would be prudent. We could get how many there are, if there are any more inside the cave.
See, Goose knows what we're talking about.
I can't believe you're encouraging.
We don't want to go to the village and not know how many there are, if there are any. Maybe there are none. Maybe there are 25. If there are 25, that definitely changes how we do things, right?
Gunhilder wants to see what's in the cave, too.
Yeah, I would say there'd have to be a pack of them to be taking out the livestock like they have been.
How far is it to Olafsvik?
Just a couple more miles.
So even if we have to use the truck to go back and forth, we're not going to be caught out here when night falls. Oh, well, all right. Under the ground,
don't know.
we must go.
We don't know anything about these creatures. Maybe they live solitary, one cave per creature.
I mean, it didn't look like a family creature. It looked like a crazed, broken creature. And the way parts of it were made out of stone, did that remind anyone of anything?
Well, yeah, I mean, I thought that too. Like, could it have been zapped like our snaky friends back home?
That would mean there might be something inside the cave that we need to go and look for.
Or not be turned into statues that suffer indefinitely by... Jack, we should have thought about some sort of mirror and asbestos outfits, possibly.
Isn't asbestos like itchy or something? They use that in insulation.
I've never hugged a theater curtain, so I'm not sure. I mean, it is stone, so probably, but you put it into wool or some such. Isn't that right?
You can actually weave it. It's fibrous.
There you go.
It's an element. Oh, right. I think that's a good spot to stop. We will continue next week with what the hell's in the cave. Our players included Cone Lighton, Carrie Comer, Kent Blue, Julian Arba, Dakota Poole, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as the Keeper of Arcane Lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows, and leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.